Maginhawang umaga sa inyong lahat. As we say it in Maynilad, first of all, thank you Ma'am Lilia and Ma'am Jean for inviting us as one of the speakers or one of the resource person for this event at Talino Bootcamp. Maynilad, allow me to inform you about Maynilad. Maynilad is the water and wastewater service provider in the west zone of Metro Manila. So for those coming from the provinces, I'm sure that you've been hearing a lot about the issues and concerns pertaining to the water sector. And because of that, the company is mindful of coming up with proactive solutions to address this problem. And one of that is through the education arm of Maynilad, which is the Maynilad Water Academy. The Maynilad Water Academy is dedicated to promote water and wastewater solutions not only in the country but also in Asia. And the Academy, though we have been working with the professionals in the water sector, we realize that it is not enough that we only tap the professionals, but we also have to involve the different stakeholders, and that also pertains to our academic sector. So in the academe, our approach is to partner with universities and schools in the country in coming up with modules, programs that will come up with innovations, solutions pertaining to water. So one of the things that we've done actually is develop this module on water, nature's precious gift. We partnered with the University of the Philippines, National Institute for Science and Mathematics Education, and with their assistance, we came up with 50 modules for teachers. And these modules are now in the Department of Education for uploading in their learning portal. This covers from water source down to meter reading up to wastewater, understanding wastewater. But the efforts to come up with the module would be futile if we're not going to cascade it with our educators. So, through the assistance of Ma'am Jean, who inspired us to come up with a program for the students of PSHS, she said, why not come up with a program inclined with STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And then why not dub it as Junior Water Camp? And that Junior Water Camp will be in accordance with the Science Immersion Program, the 80-hour program. So I broached the idea to our executive director, Ms. Dora Gamboa, and she said, okay, so come up with a program, the 80 hours, and then let's see what we can do. So at first, we're actually puzzled on how to do it. But in order for us to come up with a practical and more relevant approach to learning, we have to start with immersion. So what we did in Maynilad is that these students who participated in our Junior Water Camp were exposed to the different operations of Maynilad. So that's from water source, we brought them to our dams, to our treatment facilities, down to engaging them with our customers so that they would understand what are the challenges being faced by the utility. And at the end of the immersion program, the challenge to our participants is for them to come up with an action research. Because it's not enough for them just to sit there and listen to our lecturers. And then surprisingly, we found out that these students of PSHS, though they are brilliant, but their brilliance came in when they've shown the different solutions they have in mind to the day-to-day problems of a utility. For example, they have suggested programs or devices on how to solve non-revenue water, they came up with ideas on treatment of pollution in the Pasig River and other ways on how to address the problems in the water sector. And then after that successful 80-hour program, we informed Ma'am Jean about this, and then she said, okay, now that our students are aware of this water, of the water sector, how about our teachers? So what we did is that after the junior water camp, we came up with the teachers water camp. So the teachers water camp is really a program for our science teachers wherein how it could help them link the concept into a more applied approach or practical approach. So the teachers water camp is an abridged version. Instead of an 80-hour program, it's compressed to 3 days, and we brought them to our different facilities, and there they realized that it's not enough that they only teach the students about the concepts, but how do they make it more relevant and practical to their students. And then that program was successful, but it's not enough that we just rest on that success. So what happened was we discussed the measures that we've had. Okay? Were there researches conducted? Are the students more inclined to pursue a course related to STEM? Or are they now interested to come up with solutions about the challenges of the water sector? And with that success, what we did is we thought of why not scale it up. So we brought the idea to Ma'am Habakon, and then she said, okay, perhaps you can also invite some teachers from the different campuses of Visay and have them go through this water camp. And we did that. And through the partnership with the Philippine Science Campus, different campuses, they participated in this 3-day program, 3-day camp, wherein they were also exposed to different facilities, and they share their ideas about how they're going to apply what they have learned from the different resource persons in Maynilad. And at the end, we challenge them to think of the different problems that they have in their respective regions, insofar as the water industry is concerned, and propose possible research topics for that. And then those were the 3 programs that we've had: the Junior Water Camp, Teachers Water Camp, and the National Teachers Water Camp. Now, the challenge that the industry, the water industry is facing right now is that after this, what comes next? What are the next steps? Because it's not enough that we just have the actual research. Now, how do we make use of the information that we have? Actually, wala pa rin pong sagot. that still remains a challenge. And then, another thing is that how do we make careers in the water sector attractive to these students? Up to now, wala pa rin sagot. There's still no answer. Why? Because most of the students, I remember during our orientation, if you ask them, are you really interested to have your immersion program in Maynilad? And then they answered, actually, I don't have any choice. It's just so happened that your utility, your industry is interested to accommodate us. So that's why we just participated in the immersion camp. But lo and behold, actually that mindset has changed when they began their engagement with us. They realized that there are lots of opportunities in the water sector. For example, they realized that they can work as engineers, as chemists, as marketing personnel. So these vast opportunities available for them had dispelled the mindset that the water utility is a boring job. there are things that can be done, and it's exciting. And the challenge will always be there. Come to think of it, guys, some people can live without love, but nobody can live without water. Diba? So that's why, when they realize naman, and people began to talk about water when there's only a problem, when there's only a crisis. But we have to think of sustainable solutions. And these sustainable solutions would not only come from the top professionals. In fact, we can engage our young scientists to address these problems. Ano ba yung pwede pang gawin? What else can we do? And you will be surprised. They have really fascinating, amazing, wonderful ideas. And these ideas, when they put it into paper, I'm sure that this would even pass the requirements of a journal. You know? These are publishable. But in our end, in the industry, of course, we wanted the pragmatic, no? Those that can be implemented immediately, the quick wins. So, I hope that with the teachers around here, when we teach water education, let's make it more engaging by getting away from the conceptual, like this pure lecture, but making it more hands-on, more practical and relevant to them. And also, we would like to commend Media, because this is our experience with some schools. When they ask for support, they ask the entire, when you give them you give them your hand, they would ask for your entire arm. But the good thing with Media is that remember, all immersion program would come with a cost. And then she's willing to partner, like they're willing to share their vehicle, they're willing to spend for it. So because of that investment coming from two parties, from the industry and the academy, there would be a sense of ownership for both. And that becomes mutually beneficial for both, because both parties have invested. So it's not only one way, that the support was given. So I highly encourage, in closing, I highly encourage all our teachers, our administrators to explore partnerships with the industry. Because remember, this young generation of students will be the next batch of professionals. And given that there is an emerging need in terms of labor opportunities, work opportunities for the water sector, I hope that you would also invite industry, like in career talks or in whatever programs you have, so that we'll be able to work together collaboratively to ensure that yung pagdaloy ng ginhawa will be sustainable. Okay? So with that, thank you very much. Thank you all for inviting Maynilad, and maraming salamat.
A warm round of applause for